The final battle between the Sky Mansion Alliance and the Soul Hall began in the fallen mountain range. Seeing the young boy in the green shirt appear next to Xiao, the expression of the elder from the Pill Tower instantly turned to one of surprise and joy. He respectfully said, "Ancestor." Considering the immense seniority of this individual, Xiao dared not be negligent. He clasped his hands and politely greeted, "Greetings, senior." "No need for such formalities." The Pill Tower ancestor waved his hand, his clear eyes scanning Xiao with a curious look. He smiled and said, "To think that even the pure lotus demon flame, which we couldn't subdue, would end up in your hands. Such fortune is truly enviable." Even the Pill Tower ancestor, with his immense power, found the pure lotus demon flame highly desirable. Yet, no one had successfully subdued it over the years. Xiao could only smile in response to the Pill Tower ancestor's laughter. His success in subduing the pure lotus demon flame was merely due to luck. If not for the remnant image of the pure lotus demon sage triggering a formation that annihilated the flame's consciousness, he wouldn't have stood a chance, no matter how lucky he was. The Pill Tower is a member of the Sky Mansion Alliance. We share the same fate. Our rise and fall are intertwined. "As the protector of the Pill Tower, I cannot stand idly by," said the Pill Tower ancestor, his youthful face showing a hint of inscrutable meaning as he looked at Xiao. He had lived for countless years and understood Xiao's ultimate goal in forming the Sky Mansion. Xiao remained calm under the Pill Tower ancestor's gaze. He had no intention of manipulating the Pill Tower. The alliance benefited him, but it also offered many advantages to the Pill Tower. Over the years, due to its resistance against the Soul Hall, more and more alchemists threatened by the Soul Hall had flocked to it. This growth was evident to any astute observer, and the shrewd Pill Tower ancestor undoubtedly understood this, so Xiao wasn't worried about him causing trouble. "Hun Qianmo, that old undead. Leave him to me. I might not be able to defeat him outright, but a draw is certainly possible," the Pill Tower ancestor said with a faint smile. "Thank you, senior." Xiao felt a weight lift from his heart. With this assurance, the upcoming battle had one less uncertain factor. The appearance of the Pill Tower ancestor is causing quite a stir. They say this ancestor is actually a 9th grade mysterious pill. In this world, he might be the only one of such a grade. If someone could refine him— Shut up. Do you want to die? The Pill Tower ancestor's power is unmatched. There might be no one who can defeat him, but there are certainly few who could refine him. Indeed, but if someone had such fortune, they would. The appearance of the Pill Tower ancestor caused a significant commotion among the surrounding mountains. Many older powerhouses were astonished, their eyes filled with respect and a trace of strange thoughts. The 9th grade mysterious pill body of the Pill Tower ancestor was enough to make any Do Sheng envious and crazy. "Old ghost, it seems you are determined to oppose my soul clan." Hun Qianmo's dry face twitched upon the Pill Tower ancestor's arrival. His voice was hoarse as he said, "In the past, my soul clan spared the Pill Tower out of respect for you. Your current actions are most unwise." "Heh, it's laughable to hear you say such things," the Pill Tower ancestor chuckled. "If the Soul Hall had the chance, it would have acted long ago. I know your kind too well. Enough talk. It has been many years since we last crossed paths. I'm curious how much you've improved since then. You will find out soon enough." Hun Qianmo's eyes gleamed with a strange light, his voice becoming eerily distant. His form gradually grew more illusory. "Be careful, everyone." Seeing Hun Qianmo's actions, the Pill Tower ancestor smiled faintly and warned Xiao and the others. His figure then silently vanished, reappearing in mid-air. With a casual wave of his hand, the space around them fluctuated intensely, and he constructed a chaotic space. "Hun Qianmo, the area outside is too small. Come inside and fight." The Pill Tower ancestor stood at the entrance of the spatial passage and laughed loudly at Hun Qianmo below. Then, he turned and dashed into the spatial passage. At their level, they could construct battle spaces at will, but these hastily constructed spaces were unstable and would dissipate automatically after the fight. "Himph, do you think I fear you?" Hun Qianmo sneered. His figure moved, and the space rippled as he swiftly charged into the spatial passage. As the two entered the space, it started to become transparent. Through the transparent space, the onlookers could see the two figures suspended within the chaotic space, the Pill Tower Ancestor and Hun Qianmo. These two are both 6-star Do Sheng powerhouses. This is a rare sight, even across the entire continent. As the two rushed into the space, the surrounding mountains buzzed with excitement. Many eyes were fixed on the transparent space, eager to witness the duel of such formidable experts. Inside the space, the Pill Tower Ancestor and Hun Qianmo wasted no time on words and immediately engaged in a fierce battle. Despite the barrier, the immense energy waves from their clash spread out, causing a ringing sound that made many people's chests feel heavy. The battle was swift and thunderous, and the terrifying power behind each move left the spectators in awe. The strength at this level was incredibly captivating. As the battle commenced in the space, Xiao glanced at the scene before stepping forward. His gaze fixed on the Soul Hall Master and the Soul Demon Elder, his voice hoarse as he challenged, "Who's next?" Though Xiao voice was not loud, it carried a strange power that drew many eyes from the spatial battlefield towards him. Seeing Xiao, the Soul Hall Master and Soul Demon Elder exchanged glances. The latter's old face showed a sinister expression as he stepped forward and said, "Blood Axe Xiao, you were famous back in the day, but now you are outdated. Outdated or not, you'll find out soon enough." Xiao expression remained stoic, though he felt a sense of gravity. Despite the harsh words of the Soul Demon Elder, there was some truth to them. If he had been able to train normally, neither the Soul Demon Elder nor Hun Qianmo would be a match for him. As a once-renowned genius of the Xiao clan, he had every reason to be confident. However, being trapped in an illusion for 1,000 years had severely hindered his progress, making it difficult to keep up with the current powerhouses. The Soul Demon Elder let out a strange laugh, his robe fluttering without wind as he floated into the air. His vast Do Qi surged out, blanketing the sky in black mist and darkening the entire mountain range. The oppressive Do Qi pressure from the Soul Demon Elder caused many in the mountains to gulp nervously, their eyes filled with fear. Although the battle within the space was more terrifying, the direct sight of the Soul Demon Elder's power was even more intimidating. A late-stage 5-star Do Sheng from the Soul Clan, truly, their strength is unparalleled. Some of the elders from various sects sighed enviously, admiring the profound heritage of the Soul Clan. Xiao is said to be from the Xiao clan, but it looks like he's going to have a hard time defeating the Soul Demon Elder. Indeed, it will be a brutal battle. The murmurs from all around did not affect Xiao. His gaze remained fixed on the figure in the sky under the black clouds. As he stared at the Soul Demon Elder, a fierce determination began to rise within him. Those who challenge the Xiao clan shall die. Xiao hand slowly clenched, and a massive blood-colored axe, 10 feet long, suddenly appeared. His eyes turned slightly red, and a roar from the era of the Xiao clan echoed through time, reigniting the fervor of those who heard it even after thousands of years. Hearing that low roar from Xiao Yan's heart trembled violently. A strange feeling from the depths of his bloodline spread throughout his body, making his soul quiver. It was a sense of former pride. A pride once held by a clan that stood at the pinnacle of this continent. Even though the clan had fallen, that pride was still deeply embedded in their bloodline. During the peak of the Xiao clan, no one dared challenge their might. Even the Soul clan lurked like a venomous snake, waiting for their opponent to weaken before delivering a fatal blow. Such words have no place with the current Xiao clan. The Soul Demon Elder looked down, his eyes as sinister as a snake's, mocking the tightly gripping Xiao who held the massive blood axe. Even if the Xiao clan has fallen, you are not qualified to judge. Xiao gaze was icy and terrifying. With a fierce stomp, his figure flashed above the Soul Demon Elder's head. The enormous blood-colored axe, like a divine weapon splitting the heavens, came crashing down. Whether I am qualified, you will see for yourself. Facing Xiao powerful attack, the Soul Demon Elder coldly laughed. With a flick of his sleeve, dozens of bone chains shot out, forming a white spider web in front of him. The massive axe came crashing down. The axe struck the web, and the immense force was quickly dissipated. The axe's descent slowed as if stuck in a mire. Eventually, it stopped just half a foot above the Soul Demon Elder's forehead. Blood Axe Xiao Qiong, is that all you've got? Is it? Xiao Qiong's eyes flashed red, and a bloodline suddenly appeared on the blade of the blood axe. The axe cut through the bone web like a hot knife through butter and slashed towards the Soul Demon Elder's throat. The sudden change startled the Soul Demon Elder, but he didn't panic. His bony hand traced a strange arc and lightly tapped the axe. With a loud bang, the giant blood axe was sent flying, cutting off a strand of the Soul Demon Elder's hair as it passed. Humph! The Soul Demon Elder's face darkened after suffering a minor setback due to overconfidence. With a swift change of hand seal, the black cloud above his head emitted countless wails, revealing countless struggling figures within the black mist. Heavenly demon blood venom, devour. With the Soul Demon Elder's icy shout, the black cloud churned violently. A moment later, a fierce, non-human aura burst forth, and a blinding blood light tore through the cloud, charging at Xiao Qiong with lightning speed. Earth-splitting slash. Seeing the rapidly approaching bloodlight, Xiao Qiong's massive blood axe spun like a windmill before suddenly halting. 1,000-foot-long blood arc shot out from the blade, producing a deep sonic boom as it collided with the bloodlight. The bloodlight was sent flying by the fierce strike, its wails echoing as it smashed several mountain peaks into dust. Despite the heavy blow, the bloodlight showed tenacious vitality. As it steadied itself, it charged again, though at a slower pace. Many could now see its form clearly, causing many to gasp in shock. It was a creature resembling a toad, but its body was dark red, covered in countless bulging lumps. Upon closer inspection, these lumps revealed themselves to be hideous human faces. It's the Soul Venom Frog. This Soul Demon Elder's methods are truly ruthless. Yao Lao's face turned grim as he looked at the horrifying blood frog in the distance. Xiaoyan frowned. He had heard of the Soul Venom Frog before. It was said to be created by merging numerous souls together, forcing them to kill each other, and refining them with various materials. This creature was somewhat similar to a puppet, but possessed a degree of intelligence due to the amalgamation of countless souls. However, its intelligence was dominated by its ferocity. Once released, it would go on a killing spree, sometimes even attacking its master. Thus, only those with particularly cruel methods would dare to refine a soul venom frog. Many eyes in the mountains were fixed on the blood frog, filled with undisguised revulsion and fear, indicating that many had heard of its notorious reputation. The Soul Demon Elder ignored those looks, his face showing a sinister smile. He pointed at Xiao Qiong, "Go." At his command, the Soul Venom Frog shot forward again. Meanwhile, the Soul Demon Elder took advantage of the frog's distraction, launching secretive, vicious attacks aimed at Xiao Qiong's vital points, clearly intending to kill him. Facing the combined assault of the Elder and the frog, Xiao Qiong was forced to defend, gradually falling into a disadvantageous position. "It looks like things are turning grim," Yao Lao and the others frowned as they observed, while the Soul Hall side wore expressions of joy. Xiaoyan kept a close watch on Xiao Qiong. Though constrained at every turn, Xiao Qiong's expression remained unchanged, which slightly relieved Xiaoyan. Despite being slightly weaker than the Soul Demon Elder, Xiao Qiong's experience from his prime was unmatched, making him a formidable opponent. "I wonder how things are going in that space." Xiaoyan's gaze shifted back to the constructed space, where the battle was intensifying. Even through the barrier, he could feel the destructive power surging inside. However, it was no longer possible to see the battle clearly with the naked eye, leaving him uncertain of the situation within. 2 of the 3 battles have already been fought, and the Soul Hall Master has yet to act. He might be waiting to see the outcome of the other 2. Xiaoyan pondered. If both the Soul Demon Elder and Hun Qianima won, the Soul Hall would have secured 2 out of 3 victories, rendering the final battle unnecessary. As Xiaoyan was deep in thought, the battle in the sky grew fiercer. The intense exchanges dazzled the onlookers, with only a few sharp-eyed individuals able to track the flashing figures. As the fight between Xiao Qiong and the Soul Demon Elder became more brutal, a thunderous explosion suddenly echoed, drawing everyone's attention. The spatial passage shattered, and two figures flew out, each retreating hundreds of steps before stabilizing. Surprised exclamations erupted from the mountains as people saw the two figures emerging from the passage. They've come out. Ha! The old ghost does have some skills. Hun Qianmo steadied himself in the sky. He appeared unscathed, his clothes barely disturbed. However, experts like Xiao Yin could tell that his dou qi had been severely depleted, indicating the fierce battle that had taken place within the space. In the distance, the Pill Tower ancestor merely smiled faintly and did not speak. Elder Qianmo, what was the outcome? Senior, what was the result? The Soul Hall Master and Xiao Yin almost simultaneously asked, as the outcome of their duel was crucial to the day's battle. Hearing this, Hun Qianmo and the Pill Tower ancestor hesitated for a moment, exchanged glances, and then said, "Let's call it a draw." The strength difference between them was not significant. If they fought to the death, there would indeed be a winner, but neither was willing to go that far. Both the Soul Hall Master and Xiao Yin were taken aback by this. Xiao Yin remained composed, but the Soul Hall Master frowned, clearly displeased with the result. Don't be ungrateful. With this old monster intervening, getting a draw is already good enough. Hun Qianmo landed beside the Soul Hall Master, speaking calmly. After a brief silence, he looked at the boyish figure in the distance and muttered, "I didn't expect him to reach that level. Perhaps the clan leader will be interested." The Soul Hall Master did not hear Hun Qianmo's muttering. He smiled bitterly and looked up at the increasingly intense battle between the Soul Demon Elder and Xiao Chun. He sighed, "As long as the Soul Demon Elder wins this match, the overall situation will be decided." Hearing this, Hun Qianmo also looked up at the battle. His eyebrows suddenly knitted together, and he slowly shook his head, saying in a low voice, "It's difficult." "What?" The Soul Hall Master's face changed slightly at these words. The Soul Demon Elder was a late-stage 5-star Dosheng, while Xiao Chun was only a mid-stage 5-star Dosheng. With this disparity, the former should easily win. If Xiao Chun were so easy to deal with, he wouldn't have been so renowned back then, Hun Qianmo said flatly. Although he was also famous in that era, he still paled compared to Xiao Chun. If Xiao Chun had not been trapped in the illusion for so many years, even Hun Qianmo might not have been his match. The Soul Hall Master frowned deeply, looking up at the increasingly intense battle. At this moment, Xiao Chun was still at a disadvantage, appearing somewhat flustered under the combined attack of the Soul Demon Elder and the Soul Venom Frog. "I hope he can hold out," he murmured. The massive body of the Soul Venom Frog collided with the giant axe like a cannonball, sending Xiao Chun staggering back several steps. Just as he regained his footing, a sinister, cold wind aimed at his back. He twisted his body, using the axe blade to deflect a sharp lock spike that resembled a venomous snake. Although he managed to fend off this perilous attack, the impact caused the blood axe to fly out of his grip, and his entire arm felt numb. "Xiao Chun, no matter how experienced you are, my higher level suppresses you. To think you can defeat me is sheer fantasy." The Soul Demon Elder's figure appeared above the Soul Venom Frog's head. He looked at Xiao Chun and sneered, "In front of all these heroes, you, a once great figure, are now so humiliated. You'd be better off retreating to avoid further disgrace." Xiao Chun's figure flickered in midair. He glanced at the Soul Demon Elder, his face still expressionless. However, the vast dou qi swirling around him suddenly diminished. He gripped the axe handle tightly with both hands and raised it high above his head. "One strike to end you." "Humph, arrogant." The Soul Demon Elder's face turned cold, but inwardly, he grew highly vigilant. His vast dou qi surged like a flood, forming numerous vortexes on his body surface. Xiao Chun raised his blood axe high, and his entire aura seemed to gradually diminish into nothingness. If not for the visible sight of his figure, anyone would have thought that Xiao Chun's presence had suddenly vanished from this world. As his aura faded away, dark clouds suddenly gathered in the clear sky, with thunderbolts dancing like silver snakes. The booming thunder echoed across the heavens. At the moment the thunder surged, Xiao Chun's aura exploded violently, shooting up like a substantial pillar of energy straight into the clouds. What shocked everyone even more was that his aura had suddenly risen to the late stage of a 5-star Do Sheng. How is this possible? Sensing Xiao Qin's aura suddenly matching his own, the Soul Demon Elder's face changed drastically. He had clearly sensed that Xiao Qin's true strength was only at the mid-stage of a 5-star Do Sheng. How could this be? Heaven slash, cleave the heavens. Xiao Qin did not give the Soul Demon Elder any time to react. As his aura soared, the blood axe in his hand traced a strange arc in the sky. Instantly, a bloodline as thin as a thumb flashed across the heavens. Where the bloodline passed, it seemed to cut the world in half, with dark clouds rolling and thunder rumbling on one side, and blood and killing intent surging on the other. As the eerie bloodline rapidly expanded in his vision, the Soul Demon Elder felt a chill spread through his limbs, and a sense of impending death quietly rose from the depths of his heart. However, he was no ordinary person. In an instant, he suppressed his panic, a vicious look appearing on his withered face. In such a critical moment, not fighting with all his might would surely result in death. Swallow the goo. Under countless gazes, the Soul Demon Elder pressed his hand fiercely on the Soul Venom Frog's head. Amidst the surge of bloodlight, the Soul Venom Frog let out a heartrending croak. The massive body of the Soul Venom Frog started to dissolve at a visible speed, eventually turning into a pool of viscous blood, which the Soul Demon Elder swallowed in one gulp. As the Soul Demon Elder devoured the Soul Venom Frog, his face began to bulge with blood clots, making him look especially horrifying. However, the vast Do Qi surrounding him also became extremely violent at this moment. An earth-shattering croak echoed from the mutated mouth of the Soul Demon Elder. The energy between heaven and earth rapidly gathered in his enormous mouth, forming a viscous blood ball in just a few moments. The moment the viscous blood ball appeared, it shot out amidst many astonished gazes, colliding with the bloodline flashing across the sky with a thunderous explosion. At the moment of collision, a powerful blood light spread out, enveloping the entire mountain range in a dark crimson hue. Some violent emotions quietly surfaced in those of weaker strength, causing their eyes to turn blood red. Fortunately, those who had come here were relatively strong, preventing them from losing themselves to these violent emotions. At the fallen peak, Xiao Yin and the others stared unblinkingly at the enormous blood-colored sphere in the sky, hundreds of feet in diameter. Even from a great distance, they could sense the terrifying energy contained within. If this energy were to be released, at least half of the fallen mountain range would be leveled. Where is ancestor Xiao Quan? As this thought crossed Xiao Yan's mind and he prepared to search, two figures suddenly flew out from the massive blood sphere, crashing heavily into two nearby mountains. The force was so great that the mountains collapsed. Everyone was shocked by this scene. Just as they were about to exclaim, the two figures staggered to their feet from the ruins, both covered in blood and looking quite battered. Ancestor Xiao Quan, Elder Soul Demon. Seeing the two in such a pitiful state, both sides were equally astonished. No one had expected them to fight so fiercely. Xiao Quan wiped the blood from his face and looked at the Soul Demon Elder in the distance with a serious expression. His strength was indeed only at the mid-stage of a 5-star Do Sheng. The earlier attack, powerful enough to match a late-stage level, couldn't be continuously performed. Unfortunately, the Soul Demon Elder was also ruthless, directly swallowing the Soul Venom Frog to save himself in a critical moment. Of course, while swallowing the frog instantly increased his strength, the side effects were severe. This old ghost would find it difficult to improve his strength for decades due to the internal erosion of his Do Qi by the venom. Xiao Quan controlled his weakened body and slowly descended beside Xiao Yin and the others. Both he and the Soul Demon Elder were now unable to continue fighting. However, his weakness was temporary, while the latter was genuinely in a miserable state. Ancestor Xiao Quan, are you all right? Xiao Yin quickly asked as Xiao Qin landed, offering a fragrant medicinal pill. I'm fine, but this round is likely a draw. The final match will depend on you, Xiao Qin said, taking the pill and swallowing it, a hint of regret in his voice. Another draw. Yao Lao and the others nearby couldn't help but smile wryly. Out of 3 matches, 2 ended in a draw, which was somewhat ridiculous. Nevertheless, the most crucial match still fell to Xiao Yin. I'll handle the final match. A draw, Elder Soul Demon? This time you were too careless. The Soul Hall Master frowned, clearly displeased with the Soul Demon Elder's performance. Humph, then why don't you try next time? The Soul Demon Elder's face turned cold. He was also filled with anger. Not only had he failed to win, but he also lost the Soul Venom Frog, and his internal injuries were quite troubling. I've said before, we should directly wage war against the Sky Mansion Alliance. You insisted on high-level duels, and now we're in a difficult position. If you lose the final match, there will be a real show to watch. The Soul Demon Elder muttered angrily. The Soul Hall is extremely important to our Soul Clan. Now is not the time for a full-scale war. Once our plans are complete, you can fight to your heart's content, the Soul Hall Master replied calmly. Enough talk. Hunmiesheng, prepare. The final match is between you and Xiao Yin. Hun Qianmo looked towards Xiao Yin in the distance. Your match will decide the outcome of this battle. The Soul Hall Master nodded slightly. That boy is very cunning. Now he also has the pure Lotus Demon Flame. Don't underestimate him, the Soul Demon Elder warned coldly. The pure Lotus Demon Flame, huh? Hearing this, the Soul Hall Master exchanged a glance with Hun Qianmo beside him, a strange smile flashing in their eyes. The Soul Hall Master then waved his sleeve and stepped forward slowly. I am curious to see how powerful the pure Lotus Demon Flame can be in his hands.